today's presentation, which is dealing with words and language and the original language of the universe. Is there such a thing? Well, the Hebrews claim that Hebrew is the original language. The Phoenicians, Sanskrit, we've heard it time and time again, where people will tout that their language was the first language, and all languages come from their language. The Greeks will tell you this about ancient Greek, etc. Well, I would say it's akin to saying that, arguing that blues or rock or jazz is the first and the mother of all music, etc., whereas it would be better to argue that music is the original genre. It's music. So language needs to be understood as the umbrella of all the languages that are spoken. In the scriptures it talks about Babylon the Great, where God confused the languages, and prior to that there was one language, right? Well, look at the word confuse and you'll see that it contains fuse, to fuse. In other words, all languages confuse together and syncretize and find one common root, one cause of all languages. And that's what we are going to absolutely, comprehensively and exhaustively discover today. Don't need to be intelligent, super intelligent. Of course you need intelligence, but you don't need to be a genius. That's what I meant to say. Yes, we need intelligence to discover this, but it's so incredibly easy to see once you know what you're looking for. And you will know today, by the end of today's presentation, the root of all languages, the mother, the true, first, original, pure language. And not only that, the root and cause of all things, how atoms work, how energy works, how your body works, how everything manifests in this world. So, without further ado, these are the two symbols we're going to be working with. This is the yin and yang symbol that we all know. We've all seen this one, the black and white one. And we've also seen this one, a red and blue one. What's the difference? You'll never see any other colours of yin and yang. And if you do, they're not worth anything. They're not going to teach you anything. Only these two will teach you the secrets of all things. This is the monad. Monad monos in Greek means one, mono. This is the Godhead. This is the dyad. Causal God, God of effects. Electricity. This is electricity, red shift, blue shift. The South Korean flag has this yin and yang. It's dealing with the material world, the God of matter, the creator. This, on the other hand, is the causal. In the East, this would be called Krishna, the black one, and Radharani, the white one, or the golden one, the consort of Krishna. This is dielectricity, black light, and white light is magnetic, magnetism. Rest and motion, the two co-eternal principles. So what we have here between these two yin and yangs, the monad and the dyad, is we have the field The field. What is the field? Well, it's the field where everything comes from, where everything originates in the universe and manifests. And these are the three field modalities, always in this order: dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. It's the Holy Trinity. Rest and motion. Magnetism in Sanskrit means to move. Dielectricity is the stillness from which all things come. You hear talk about dark energy, dark matter, black holes, etc. It's always black, black, black. Because quantum physics is pointing in the right direction. They're pointing to the blackness of things as the cause of all things. Black light is the absence of colour. White light is all colours. These two parts of the field do not vibrate. They are non-vibratory. This is a vibration, this is a radiation. It's very important to understand the difference between these two waves. Digital, analog. Pulse, vibration. This is a longitudinal, magnetism is longitudinal, scalar wave, standing wave. There's no vibration, it propagates horizontally. As the radial wave of radiation propagates in all directions, it encounters resistance in the medium in which it travels. Water, air, fire, earth, ether. Matters not. That resistance will cause, as it propagates longitudinally, it will cause a transverse wave. It's perpendicular at 90 degrees. And it can go up and down according to its wave amplitude. And the amps that are in this longitudinal wave, if it's strong, it'll go up higher. It will go like this. You see, when there's strong waves in the ocean, the surfers go out, but want bigger amplitude. But when the ocean is still and quiet, and there's not enough longitudinal drive from out in the ocean, there's not enough radial wave strength, then the waves is just very, very weak, like the Atlantic here. I'm watching the Atlantic every day from my 24th story. Yeah, I'll tell you about that later. It's very lucky. It's beautiful sisters coming, supposed to be here, but probably coming late, who's offered me that beautiful place to stay. So I look out, and I've never seen such a calm ocean in my life. In Australia, the waves are like brutal in the Pacific Ocean. But the Atlantic here is just like a pond. And that's because there's not enough longitudinal drive. It's nice and slow. Oh yes, thank you. How do I watch that? I think I can do this. That'll be more. Thank you. So, when you have a pond, and you drop a nice still pond, and you drop a little pebble in the pond, you'll see that the waves go out and out and out, and they're forever growing. That circle was little when it began, and now look at it. That's magnetism. It's going out like this. No vibration. It's radiation. Radial. What vibrates is the effect. Redshift, blue shift. Redshift, blue shift. That's an effect. Electricity is a hybrid. It's the third field modality. Here you have stillness and motion. That's what this is all about. This is telling you nothing other than dielectricity and magnetism. The source. I would say this is the source and this is the force. But more correctly, that is the source and this is the force. Okay? More correctly, within the monad. Remember, the monad, although it's one, it is two. It's Radharani and Krishna. And they say in Bhagavad Gita that Radharani is billions of times more powerful than Krishna. Because magnetism is the true radial force of the universe. It's digital, it's a pulse. No vibration. The vibration, red shift, blue shift, red blood, blue blood, red pill, blue pill, all the dualities you can think of. Hot water, cold water, pink for girls, blue for boys, red siren, blue siren, roses are red, violets are blue, Republicans are red, Democrats are blue, all the duality of the dyad world, the vibration world, the illusion in this hybrid material world, electrical. Here, this is transcendental. It transcends matter. It's beyond matter. It doesn't interfere with matter. It is the source and cause of matter. It's a pulse, like a heartbeat. Longitudinal wave, transverse wave. Pulse, wave. It's a pulse wave universe, it's not a particle wave universe. Thank you, Walter Russell. There are no particles. When they talk about quantum particles, forget about it. They don't exist. It's quantum pulses. So the spiritual causal world is digital. The world of effects is analog. Two different waves. So as this is propagating out like this, red shift, blue shift, the electrical wave of vibration is a pulse in the middle of every one of these waves. So when they're looking for, in the double slit experiment, when they see the particle disappears, well, of course it does, because you can't see a pulse. It's not material. They'll never see a particle. You'll never see one. It's all just frequencies. From hydrogen to plutonium, it's all different rate of frequencies. Gold, silver, mercury, magnesium, sodium, they're all just frequencies. And what makes them difference is the difference between all the elements is that frequency. See the frequency there? How frequent is that to there? 1,000,000 times a second? 1 billion? 4? 22? It matters not. The pulse sets the frequency, which sets the frequency of the wave. The transverse wave. It's all about frequency. Beginning with the pulse, ending with the wave. The magnetic radial wave is superior. It's 10 billion times more powerful than the electrical transverse wave. Thank you, Faraday and Maxwell, Steinmetz, Tesla, Ken Wheeler, John Nowalski. Thank you to all these great men who revealed that magnetism, the spiritual causal energy of the universe, is 10 billion times more powerful than electricity. Electricity, this wave here, can only decay. It can only decay. It can never grow. Unless with resonance you keep sustaining that wave. But without any support, that wave must diminish. The magnetic wave can never diminish. It's always growing. Okay, I'm labouring this point because I'm building up to a whole bunch of PowerPoint presentations, slides, probably about 200. So if you're a visual learner today, you're going to love this. I love making these PowerPoint presentations simply because I'm a visual learner. And when you see it, that's it. You're going to really absorb this. It's going to be hard going till 6 o'clock. Have a break at 3 for half an hour. Grab a coffee. But I have to build this up with this understanding. If you want to know the cause of all words in any language, you need 3 words. And there they are. Those are the 3 words. Atom, I put it there as atom because the vowels are interchangeable. Okay, so you have to learn or understand the law of interchangeables when it comes to language. But atom, the Egyptians said all is atom. In the Hermetica, you'll see that thousands of times. All is atom. So about 8 years ago, when I was meditating on that expression, all is atom, I took it seriously. I took it for what its value, surface value, and I thought, well, the Egyptians were smart people, and they said all is atom. And the Greeks described the physical nature of things as atomic. And today, quantum physics, even scientists tell you that everything's a bunch of atoms. It's all atoms. Empty atoms. So let's start from that point, shall we? If all is atom, then all languages must come from atom, the atom. This is the mother of all words, and these I call redshift, blue shift, son and daughter of the mother atom. Because magnetism is feminine, dielectricity, black light, is masculine. How many times have they taught you the other way around? That this is masculine, white light, and black light is feminine. How many times have you seen that? That's how I learnt it. It's the other way around. Stillness, rest. This is rest and motion, or rather, acceleration, force and motion, who studied Ken Wheeler here? I just can't believe I can't. Inertia. Inertia. This is an inertia and acceleration. Very important to meditate on these words, guys. Really, I'm glad that came back to me. Because it's very important. This is inertia. In other words, rest. See that word rest? When you put a C in front of it, you get the word for Christ or Krishna, black light. Rest in light. In the scriptures it says, one day we will be in the rest of the Lord Christ. Because that's what Christ means. Christ, crest, rest. It's black light. How many black Jesuses have you seen? Yeah? Black Madonnas or black Jesus? Krishna's black. It's dielectric light. That's all it is. What you're learning here is science, and the other side of the coin, theology. How you should learn theology. This is how to learn theology. This is the Holy Trinity. Always starting with dielectricity, black light, magnetism to move. So we have force and acceleration, inertia and acceleration, and then you've got force and motion. Those are the 2 co-eternal principles. Simplified, rest and motion. Order and chaos. And this is 10 billion times more powerful than electricity. It's very, very weak. It's a hybrid of these two. When these two move together along this plane, you get redshift, always at the bottom, blue shift, always at top. Look at your torso. Blue chakra at the very top of your torso, red chakra at the very bottom of your torso. Because your torso, let's make it a U there, play around a little bit. Can you see what a torso is? It's a torus field. We're going to come to this in a minute. Because this is a torus field. Blue shift, always at the top. Red hell, down below. This is always way bigger, 1.618 times bigger. See that? The phi ratio, yeah? Phi. Or the Fibonacci ratio. The golden section, 1.618. Red shift, blue shift. That is a torus field. That's the field. They call it a torus field. That is the atom. That's what an atom is. They're never going to tell you that. They will never tell you. They'll tell you it's a neutron, a proton, and an electron, which is true. But you will never know that it is the field. They can't afford to tell you that. Because once you open your eyes and you see this form is the only form that exists, and all numbers and letters come from this. This is God. That point there comes from counter space. See the hourglass here? That's time. This is space. Time, chronos. Atum means chronos, Saturn. Saturn means time, chronology. Time, space. This is pulsating. If you put your head here, and you have your beautiful green chakra here, in your heart, that's what you've got. You've got 3 chakras below, and you've got your violet up at the top. And this is the human being. It's an apple. This is how everything works. Your torso is a torus. Your body, made of atoms, is an anatomy. All is atom. So the secret is knowing what an atom is. All is atom. So that's what we're going to do today, and we will know the source of all things. Not just language. All things. Hyperbola, this is the hyperbola. In Greek this means hyperthrust. Bol means thrust. Ballistic. Have you ever heard someone say, oh, stop speaking bull? Because you are speaking in hyperbole. That's a word I remember learning when I was in, grade 1. Because we exaggerate when we're kids. I told you 100 times, don't touch my sandwich. Well, really, you only said it 3 times. You're speaking hyperbolically. Okay? You're speaking bull. Because that's the bull. Baal. The god Baal. Remember, vowels are interchangeable. The god Baal is the only god that exists because it's the hyperbola, which is the half of the torus field. Bol means blue. You can see there, blue. words for tor, which also means rotate, is red. In most languages, in German, rot is red. Red shift, blue shift. It's right there in the word. It's right there in the word. It's telling you this is ballistic to hyperthrust, and this is rotating. It's just going like this, like the Ouroboros is the same as the Ouroboros. R and L are interchangeable, always. The most important interchangeables you will ever master. Once you understand that in every language R and L are interchangeable, your minds will open. So the serpent that eats its tail, it's this. That's where it eats. Because everything is coming out of that point, thrusting outward, radiation, gravitation. Fission, fusion. Divergent centrifugal, convergent centripetal. And that's all that's going on. All atoms are doing that. Walter Russell has a good way of explaining it. Let's see what we've got here. There's Walter Russell. Okay, so let's do this. Red shift, blue shift. Thank you. Good idea. We don't need the light. So you see, there's the point of the hyperbola where two vortices, a red vortex, blue vortex, is always happening. That's an atom, that's a torus field. This is the only way energy happens. And it happens simultaneously. And this is happening also simultaneously. So if you pick this up and put it on top of that, you'll understand that as energy goes out that way, already it's coming back simultaneously. Two cones. And that's the field. Always red shift, blue shift. This guy here, David Lapointe, proved this in a laboratory. You can see his primer fields, 3-part documentary. I would recommend you watch it. There he is there doing an experiment, and he's knocking out these 3 bottles. Dark energy, dark matter, dark BS of quantum physics that they talk about, because they're leading people astray. And he's proving in the laboratory with these 2 red shift, blue shift, positively charged and negatively charged, and he's got these little balls in here that are on the plane of inertia, and they're all lining up on a plane, because in the middle here is the plane of inertia, the 4th part of the atom that never gets spoken about. Ken Wheeler, in his channel Theoria Apotheosis, gets all shapes of magnets, all kinds of magnets, and puts them behind a viewing film, and you see the toroidal field of every magnet. And that's what's going on. So, there's David Lapointe's experiment in the laboratory where he's making sonoluminescence. This here is sonoluminescence, sound and light. Sound and light. That's what they say God is. God is light. And the Word of God, well, that's sound. There you go. There it is again. Torus field in a laboratory. Once more. Galaxies. Supposed galaxies. What they have here, this is the plane of inertia. And then this is the double torus field. There it is again. You see these jets, this explosion. Remember the word hyperbole, hyperthrust. So we're talking about thrust and rotation. Thrust and rotation. The Copernican model of the universe. Here it is again. There it is there. And there's the yin and yang of electricity, the mundane world, the four elements. These are the four elements. Earth, fire, air, and... now that's earth, water, fire and air. Pepsi. Red and blue, always. White, red and blue. White is magnetic light, causing the division of the Republicans and the Democrats. It's always that. Alright? Now we're getting somewhere. Does anyone know how to get out of these?
You're in a PowerPoint, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't minimize it.
No. Can't minimize it.
Don't you think? You probably know that.
Here we go. You see your battery terminals? Anode, cathode. Blood moon, blue moon. It's all about red shift, blue shift. The rainbow. Red shift, blue shift. The 7 electricities. The 7 colours, same in your torso. You've always got the Krishna in blue. If Krishna's got either blue or black, Radharani is either white or red. Pay attention and take note. You've got your blue gods, you've got your red devils. The superheroes. There's always red pill, blue pill. There's always that polarity. Red and blue. Hot water, cold water. You've got your blue arteries, red veins. Red light district, blue light for children. Again, red blood, blue blood. The rivalry. It's always, you see, America's divided. It's the colours of division and polarity to keep you away from the white and black light. That's all it is. And it works. Provolone antipasto. Pro and anti. Roses are red, violets are blue. The pH. Yeah, the red bad guys and the blue good guys, yeah? Red shift, alkalinity is blue shift. Same with the spectrum of matter. It's red shift, blue shift. Red star Kachina, blue star Kachina. Okay. Alright, that's exhausted that. Let's get him out of the way. Because the slide presentation that we will begin after the break, after I've finished with this, you're probably thinking, oh no, he's going to do more of that. Well, we're already exhausted.
No.
There's more to go. Okay. So, that's how you begin your journey. There you are, golden egg. Remember you have an aura around your torso. Aura comes from gold. oro, or order. Time. Time and gold are always this interrelatedness between gold, the gold that you are, and this egg is the same shape as this is the golden eggs. These are the golden eggs. Jack and the beanstalk climbing the beanstalk finds the golden eggs. See? This is the apple. This is the pine cone. You see the pine cone imagery in all the buildings, especially the Freemasonic buildings? Well, it's this, because it has the fire ratio shape. And inside your body is a tree of life. Now, anyone who speaks Spanish knows that tree is árbol. Bol. And it's your nervous system. And your spinal column has a part of it called lumbar. Bar is bowl. Lumbar is tree. The tree of life, your torso, the spinal column in there, that's the tree. That's why they call these, this is the phallic, the male member. This is the torus, the feminine member. And it comes from uterus. Uterus. Every woman has a uterus in it, in their bodies. And the male is the árbol. And the tree of life is actually the phallic, because it passes life. So you'll find this tree of life motif everywhere. There's the placenta, the tree of life, where you enter, the place where you enter the world in the placenta, the tree of life. And this is the tree because it's the árbol, hyperbole. That's why these three words, remember, atom, bol and tor, I like to reduce it to, actually I make this bull, the bull and the Taurus. The bull and the Taurus. Blue and red. This is left turning. This is right turning. R and L. Red and blue. Right turning radiating, left turning gravitating. So you have a pulse, a heartbeat. What happens when you get your pulse checked? They're checking your heartbeat. It's a pulse. Of course everything pulsates. So behind all of this visual beauty that you see in the world, this vibration which seems material to you, is a digital pulse. It's digitally pulsating in this analog, beautiful world. So, the bull and the Taurus. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at words that have this in them. Have you noticed there's a lot of bull words in English? I'm capable, able, destructible, and Tor words, actor, creator, manifestor. Why do probably 50% of words throughout the universe end in Tor and bull? Because Tor is rotating, bull is thrusting. It's energy, moving energy. And that's what magnetism does. Everything is in flux. Everything is moving. All atoms are moving. It's a flow of energy which is here one day, gone the next. In the transcendental world, nothing changes. This is eternal and infinite. Eternal and infinite. Temporal and finite. Tempo, there's your time, the hourglass. The bull, you heard the word obelisk? Bell, obelisk. Bell. And it's beautiful in Italian and Spanish. Bello means beautiful because it's the beautiful one. Bale, the beautiful God, the golden God, the atom. All is atom. Temporal, finite. Infinite, eternal. Unchanging, forever changing. Remember what you looked like in the mirror 10 years ago? You've changed. But you're still the same. Because you're always the same. I liken this to a computer. The computer has come along to teach us many things. But mostly it will teach you about the Holy Trinity of spirit, soul and matter. Which is what you are. You are spiritual, unchanging. You are soul, which changes. You can lose your soul, you can gain your soul. And body, which is always changing. You live, you reincarnate, you die. So you look at your computer, and all your information is stored on a hard drive. But when you open your computer, well, the screen shows you what... I don't know why this is on. That's better. Okay, your computer shows you what's in the file, which is the spirit. The screen here, we can liken that to the body. And the RAM between the file and the screen, we can call that the soul. So, if you have a hard drive full of information, does it weigh more than a brand new one, which is empty? And yet this is full. This one here is full. 30 gigabyte. Is that a lot? I don't know. What's a lot of gigabytes these days?
500.
Huh? 120 gigabyte, okay. Here we have 120 gigabyte of information. It's almost infinite information at the tip of your fingers. And this same one, let's imagine this is the same hard drive, brand new, I haven't put anything on it. Which one weighs more? Surely this one weighs more. It doesn't. Because that information is in counter space. It's not spatial. It's ones and zeros. They don't occupy any space. It's just energy. It's frequency. That's who you are in the transcendental world. You're not spatial. Forget about it. You have to try and meditate and understand this.